Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to the Hot Stocks Outlook for November 17th, 2016. So getting a little bit over a week away from the presidential elections, and just a tremendous amount of trading opportunities have opened up in the market. Really great opportunities to make a lot of money here over a short period of time. But, really the important thing, and I can't stress this enough, is, regardless of presidential elections or the FOMC statements and all of this mess, you really got to have a tool that's robust and consistent to make sure that you as a trader are making those intelligent trading decisions day in and day out. So, what I want to demonstrate here is the VantagePoint Intermarket analysis software, but really focus more on the interpretation of these indicators. If you want to learn more about the type of artificial intelligence, the neural networks that are performing what's called this intermarket analysis really under the hood to generate these predictive forecasts, definitely go watch some previous Hot Stocks Outlooks videos, and we go into a little bit more detail there. But what I want to focus on here is the interpretation and how really easy it is for traders to identify these opportunities and then trade them effectively because they have those extremely accurate tools and forecasts generated here. So we have the stock AK Steel, obviously a basic material company driven by things like the dollar index, metal prices, those basic material stocks, share those correlations. But against the chart here are daily bars and candles. So the software, very important to understand, works off of end of day data. These are daily bars and candles, the green days being up days in the market and the red days being the down days in the market. You'll notice that these lines, this blue and the black line that you have against the chart, they extend all the way to the current period of time here. But it's very important you understand, what these indicators are. Now, this black line on the chart there, that is a simple moving average, which I'm sure most of you out there are very familiar with. Really just takes the last 10 or 15 closed prices, adds those all together, divides by 10, really just summarizes what's already occurred in the market. And so it's very important to understand that this black line really generated by that, essentially that lagging information, that information that's already known by the market. So the market's already closed on all of these days. And also, these are, only generated via the values from, this single market, AK Steel. It's not looking at metal prices or the value of the dollar index or crude oil prices or basic material ETFs or any of that. Now, the blue line on your screen, though, guys, that is VantagePoint's proprietary predicted moving average. So for that value to be generated, VantagePoint is looking at those 25 to 30 most closely related markets that are known to affect AK Steel here. So what we're looking at is essentially a comparison between the actual moving average and a prediction of where the prices are expected to move going forward. And so for traders in the market, what we really want to pay attention to are these crossovers, because when we have this predicted moving average, it really takes the lag out of traditional simple moving averages that are always just going to react to where the market's already been. This generates a prediction so that we can anticipate where prices are expected to move forward. Now, in addition to that predicted moving average, which is extremely accurate as far as determining direction for traders, you're going to notice that we have another indicator at the very bottom of the screen. And this is very important to understand because it's really the combination of these indicators that produce what we really call the forecast that VantagePoint is producing to help you then go into the market and make trading decisions off of that forecast. Now, you'll see that what we want to pay attention to are these crossovers where the blue line's over the black line. But we also have this indicator here called the predicted neural index. And again, for this indicator, for the values to be calculated here and determining whether it's at a 1 or whether it's at a 0, it's weighing those 25 to 30 related markets, how they're affecting and influencing the price here of AK Steel. And so what we want to make sure and what this indicator is actually forecasting is short-term strength or weakness over the next 48 hours. So you can think of that over the next 2 trading candles when you're dealing with daily bars and candles. Now, when it's up at a 1, it's signifying strength. And when it's down at a 0, it's signifying short-term weakness. And so this allows traders to know what to expect over a given period of time. And that's really all of what trading is to know, what are my expectations over this period of time? What are my objectives? And make sure that you're making decisions in a very, very, efficient and consistent way. And so the accuracy of this indicator is just absolutely phenomenal here, but let me show you how this works. Now, we've gotten this blue line crossing over the black line saying, look to go ahead and buy shares of AK Steel down here at about $5 a share. But look at this neural index where you're getting that subsequent strength over those next couple of days. When we drop down to a 0, sure, we're getting some weakness, sideways action in the market, but look at your blue line and your black line, still showing that separation that says, look, direction is up. Look to remain long the market, but from this point on, expect some short-term weakness. Don't get freaked out, and you're going to have to wait until that blue line crosses below the black line, or else you're going to stay in that trade. So it's essentially saying, look, the direction is still up, and what you'll notice is when these indicators start to spread, so when that prediction starts to become more aggressively separated from the actual moving average. Well, what is that telling you? That the prediction is far above that summary of what's already occurred in the market, signifying even more strength. So what you'll notice here, once this 48-hour indicator gets back up to a 1, look at all this strength coming into the market. And I stress this so much with traders is that if you really want to capture what ends up being this, let's see here. We got about a 65% move to the upside in about 20 trading days. So about a month period of time on the calendar, 65% move. But, to capture this move, guys, you got to be in the market ahead of time. You definitely have to be in the market over this period of time when the software was saying, look, the market's going up. Expect that strength over the next couple days. So, you're just not going to be able to trade these gaps and catch that 65%. So really important for traders that they have the tools that keep them in the market, right? That keep them patient and staying and holding their positions when the odds are on their side, that market's going to continue higher. So just a fantastic move in AK Steel, 65% move to the upside. I mean, easily on, $5,000, you've made about 60% on your account, or at least on that trade, making about $3,000 with a $5,000, position there. So pretty phenomenal move. I'm going to go over some more opportunities here though. And just keep in mind, again, the combination of these short and long-term forecasts short and directional forecasts from the crossover and then the 48-hour neural index to have you consistently making trading decisions in line with, whatever your trading strategy is. Here we have AK Steel, or rather Eastman Chemical, which we covered these actually Huntsman and Eastman Chemical in the last video. And you'll see here what's occurred over the past week here. Really nice crossover to the upside. Crossover, blue line still well above the black line, signaling, look, market's moved up about 11.5%. You got a great entry into that market, recognizing the directional shift. Obviously need to be in position for this gap up, or else you're not going to get that 11 or 12%. But we see here a lot of separation still between that blue and the black line. So some short-term weakness over the next couple of days. Opportunities for traders to improve their price if they're shorter term, add to their position. A lot of really logical things you can do here, but understanding how these forecasts work, that directionally you're still up, but over the next 48 hours, expect that weakness. So take some profit, try to buy back at a lower price. A lot of really great things you can do there. Huntsman here. So again, why it's so important to hold on to your position so you can capture the best of these moves. We see yesterday here in Huntsman, just a huge move up from about 1850 all the way up to 1950. About a 16% move to the upside here, $2.65 per share. So, again, 1,000 shares, maybe you trade options, but, making a few $1,000s on just the past 19 trading, just in the last month on a single position, whether that's Huntsman or Eastman, recognizing that, hey, chemical companies, something you want to pay attention to, looks like they're going to start moving higher. Neonode here, so a very cheap, really a penny stock, and as far as I'd look at it, but crossover to the downside here, and you can see how just effective these indicators are for those days that you need to be in the market making trading decisions here. Market was forecasted lower over these 48-hour periods. Expect weakness in the market. We get our neural index up to a 1, but we don't get that crossover until, this day here. So it's telling us, look, once you get that crossover, a lot of strength from the neural index, just a tremendous opportunity to go ahead and you know, take a position on a very, very cheap stock, a 45% move to the upside. So again, you know, you can buy several thousand shares of a stock like this, and in the past 5 trading days, made about 45% return on that position size. Here's a really nice opportunity in Builders FirstSource. So, you know, the day after election, oh, the Builder stock goes up. That's pretty interesting, right? But, you know, none of that really matters here, right? Blue line over black line, Neural Index up at a 1, saying, look to buy into this market. Neural Index being very, very strong over all 7 of these trading days. I think the market's trading up about 1125 right now. I see on my other screen here, 1125. So, you know, 16% move or so to the upside in the past 7 or 8 trading days here. So, you know, easily, guys, you know, you can purchase, you know, 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, you know, we're all different sizes there in the market, but, you know, a 13% return on, you know, whatever you're working with, obviously a move in the right direction. Canadian solar here. So I spoke a lot about these solar companies in the last previous couple videos, maybe a few weeks ago. Really great rallies, getting about 17, 18, 19% to the upside on Canadian solar, First Solar, but you got to know when to fold them, right? And so, you know, we got this crossover to the downside saying, look to short this market or go ahead and sell that position in Canadian solar. Not the time to be long anymore. And sure enough, since the forecast came through, 20% move to the downside. So, you know, whether you want to buy some put options, you know, hedge some of your long positions in the market, you want to find those opportunities where, hey, where are the probabilities on my side for this market to move lower? Again, you know, you can use these things to hedge a portfolio, have some long positions, short positions, but really have all those positions with the probability that they're going to move in that desired direction. So really, you know, regardless of, you know, if the S&P freaks out and all equities start moving up or down, you're really protected and have really very smart positions in place to get good entries. And, you know, the ability to trail those stops and capture these, you know, 20% moves, which we were seeing really all over the market. Here's, you know, JA Solar, just another example of, you know, when those crossovers come through, you see them on a lot of similar companies. So we got another solar company here, about 12, 13% move lower there. So last opportunity here, FOSL Group. Again, a lot of retail companies doing really well here, but very, very clear here. Crossover to the upside, Neural Index strongly there up at a 1, saying, look, definitely don't be short FOSL. Look to go ahead and take a position there. Markets moved up 33%, about $9 per share in 7 trading days. So, you know, guys, it really is about, you know, having an approach and tools that are going to be consistent for you and really make sure that you're making those trading decisions day in and day out, because, you know, as traders, we probably want to do this for more than, you know, one trade. So we want to make sure that we're doing things consistently in the right way and really have those odds on our favor. And that's really where this technology and this software really shines, where, you know, there's just not much out there that's going to be this accurate consistently. I certainly haven't found it. So, you know, of course, as always, you know, thank you guys for watching. This has been the Hot Stocks Outlook for November 17th, 2016. Best of luck to you all in the markets, and bye for now.